Hey, what's up guys, Sedge here. Welcome to a new video. So today I'm going to be showing you the new DLC weapons, how to find them, as well as their weapon arts and move set. If you want to find a specific weapon and you don't want to watch the whole video, I have timestamps in the description as well as on screen for every single DLC weapon and how to get it. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, please do leave a like and a share, or maybe even a comment if you found it helpful. This video took me 5 fucking hours to make, so hope you enjoy and have fun with the DLC. Bye bye. Now, the Valahart is probably one of the first weapons you'll come across naturally if you just play through the DLC, but if you somehow don't find it and you're a little bit stuck, then you want to start off at the depths of the painting bonfire and just come down here, and there will be a boss fight here. I'm not going to show you the boss fight simply because I don't want to ruin it, but just know after you kill the boss you will get the weapon. In this clip I'm just going to show off the moveset of the weapon in case you guys wanted to see it, because I know there's usually a lot of hype around the weapon arts of new weapons, and I'm not going to lie, this one's really fun. It's kind of, I believe it's a Gladius and a Spaffer. I'm not sure. I don't know the correct terminology for the shield, but I definitely know that may be a Gladius or something similar. I feel like there's a lot of viability in PvP. It definitely takes a lot of practice with this weapon because, you know, as you'd expect, the range isn't exactly good with a Gladius. It's a short sword, and the jump attack is really fucking cool, but unfortunately, it's not that good in PvP. So the next weapon on the list is the Crow Quills, and to get this weapon you're going to want to go to the Corbian Settlement bonfire and just take the path that I'm taking. It's relatively safe to just run past everything. Most of these enemies don't really do anything to you. However, if it is your first time playing, I definitely recommend just killing them just for the sake of gameplay. You can actually get knocked off, believe it or not. I actually did, so you might want to be careful. And once you jump past that little gap, you'll see that there's a bunch of boxes hiding a ledge here, and then you can use this as a jump off point onto this little rock and you'll find the Crow Quills. The Crow Quills have an interesting moveset. It's incredibly unique, and it's kind of unexpected. It's like a rapier with a claw, but it's not a claw. They're like daggers that you can throw. It's pretty cool. It's pretty simple though. This is pretty much the only thing it's good for. Chip damage in PvP. I wouldn't really say it's too viable, but it's pretty good. So the next weapon is the Onyx Blade, and you're going to want to start from the Corbian Settlement again. This weapon is pretty easy to get as well. As you can see, there's actually a gate right there, and for me it's open because I've already got it, but for you it will most probably be closed. If it is, then just take this path that I'm taking now. If it's not, then you can completely skip this and just go past the gate, because that's actually a shortcut that you unlock after going all this way. I decided to speed up the footage a little bit because it is quite a way away, but it's still relatively easy to get to. So when you get to this rooftop, you just want to jump off, and as you can see, the gate's right there, so you might want to open this because it is a shortcut. And there is a big house or temple or whatever there, and as soon as you go in there you will get a little bit of a speech dialogue from an NPC, and all you have to do is just kill him. He's using the Onyx Blade himself, so it won't be too hard to distinguish if you're killing the correct NPC. After you kill him, he obviously drops the Onyx Blade. Now, the Onyx Blade pretty much has the same moveset as any greatsword, except that it has a dark magic buff, I believe. As you can see, the thing I'm doing here, it's supposed to let off this big ooze of black smoke, also known as dark magic, I believe. I'm not sure, and it's basically like a free buff. And I think it also staggers the enemy while you're doing it, so they can't just hit you. So it's a very good weapon. If you're looking for a greatsword, this is definitely the one to use because it's probably one of the best ones, and it has a free buff, so hey, that's pretty cool. But aside from that, it doesn't really have any special weapon arts. The weapon arts is the buff, so yeah, it's still pretty cool regardless. So the next weapon is actually the pyromancy flame that you get with the DLC. What you're going to want to do to get this is start at the snowy mountain pass bonfire, go up the elevator, and then cross the 2 logs. A lot of these are shortcuts and you're going to need to unlock them. Unfortunately, I really do not remember how to unlock them, so you're going to have to find a different guide. But eventually you'll come to this mine shaft looking thing and you're going to want to stick to the left. And the reason why this is probably one of the hardest one is because you have to actually hit a wall to open an illusionary wall, and then there's another illusionary wall, and then you have to climb down some roots. So it's pretty hard. I'd probably say this is the hardest one, unless I'm forgetting something. But then there'll be another illusionary wall. Actually no, there's no illusionary wall here, but you do have to jump down these roots, and I think I died maybe twice doing this. But you do need quite a bit of health, or the ring that neglects damage from full damage, I think. And yeah, from here on it's pretty self-explanatory. You just follow the routes and eventually you'll come to this kind of circular gladiatorium looking thing. And I already picked up the flame, but it's right here. So the next weapon is the Quakestone Hammer. To get this weapon you're going to want to start at the Snowy Mountain Pass bonfire and just follow where my character's going. It's a pretty easy way there. There are a couple of things that can kill you, like the little warriors walking around, so you might want to be careful. There's a guy that also shoots arrows, as you just saw, and when you actually get there, I'd suggest you suicide, because there's really no point in trying to kill them. You can if you want. I personally just got there, picked up the weapon and killed myself, because the dogs are, or the wolves, sorry, are really annoying. But the weapon is just up here behind this big Viking guy. So the moveset of this weapon doesn't exactly bring too much to the table. I'm not a really big fan of strength weapons in general, so I can't really compare it to anything else. But it definitely seems very viable in PvP, I don't see why not. The weapon art's also very badass looking, and I'm assuming it does a lot of damage, around 550 with 50 strength, I believe. So yeah, I feel like it's a very nice looking weapon and a pretty viable one as well. So the next weapon is the Crow Talons, however you wish to pronounce it. Anyway, you need to start at the Corvian Selman bonfire and you just follow where my character's going. You might want to be careful because this guy deals a lot of damage, and especially if you're not wearing armor like me, because you know I'm all about that fashion souls. Fuck these statistics. But you want to just go up this ladder, and it's pretty much the same route as the Onyx Blade, but just you take a left this time instead of going straight. As you can see, there's a rooftop. I actually went the wrong way a little bit. I thought this was it, but it turns out you have to go into here, and you have to go all the way around and onto this main rooftop. So I'm not gonna lie guys, the Crow Talons have an insanely cool, flashy looking moveset. I don't think it's that viable in PvP. I have seen some people use it, but a lot of the people I've spoke to so far say that it's not very viable, and it will just get you killed. Though I think I'm still gonna use these because they're so fucking cool. Look at them, just look at the way they move, amazing. So the next weapon is the Follower's Javelin. To get this weapon you want to start from the Snowfield bonfire, which is I believe the first bonfire, and you just want to head as far up as you possibly can until you fall off the cliff right here. It's probably one of my favourite weapons. It's really fun to use. I haven't had the opportunity to use it too much, but I can already tell it has a lot of potential. But anyway, you just want to hug the right cliff side, and killing this wolf is not necessary, but I've read in the wiki that if you don't actually kill it, it will attract more wolves, and if you're not planning on suiciding like I am, then you might want to kill that thing. I know wolves can be annoying, but trust me, it will pay off in the long run. And the javelin's just up here. So as far as I'm aware, the javelin has pretty much an identical moveset to a spear, except it's got a little twist, and the twist is that you can throw it because it's a javelin. It doesn't have ammunition as far as I'm aware. It's pretty much infinite, and it's really viable in PvP. So the next weapon is the Follower's Saber. This is a really good weapon actually, and if you want to get it, you're going to want to start at the Ariandel chapel and just go to the bridge and knock it down. As you can see, some weird glitch happened to me. It was actually pretty funny. But yeah, like I was saying, it's an insanely good weapon in PvP. I say good, but it's actually overpowered, and before you actually start to make any build, including the saber or whatever, I'd wait for a patch or something, because it's actually ridiculously overpowered. A lot of people have said this, and I personally haven't had any bad experience with it, but then again, I've mentioned this before, I haven't really PvP'd that much. So make sure you wait for a patch, because I'm almost 100% sure they're going to nerf it. It's almost as if they haven't even tested the weapon. But you're going to want to jump on these roots, and the weapon is here. You might want to be careful of the arrows, because they can knock you off. Now, I haven't really done a good job showing the move set, but trust me, the combo is a lot longer than what I actually show. If you can get the weapon yourself and test out the combo, I only kind of wanted to show you a little bit of it, but it's a lot longer than what you see. But it's a very good weapon, and it looks really nice as well. So the next item is the Follower's Torch. To get this, you're going to want to start at the Snowy Mountain Pass and just head all the way up, pretty much in the same place where you found the big hammer, except this time you take a left instead of the right. It's pretty easy to find. I think a lot of people should have found this during their playthrough. I actually did as well. It was actually the second weapon I got, and yeah, it was pretty moist. So the moveset on the Follower's Torch is essentially the same as a regular torch, except it has this awesome breathing move, which is really cool, and I definitely see pyro build potential right here. So the next weapon is the Earthseeker. To get this weapon, you're going to want to start at the Snowy Mountain Pass, head up straight up to the elevator, and unfortunately I actually messed up this clip a little bit. I don't know how I only realized this now, but you are supposed to go this way, but for some reason I decided to turn around when I should have went forward. I tried to edit in the part where I did go forward, but as you can see, this is how it turned out. But basically you have to head up the hill up to the snow trap where it falls down to the two Vikings that were wandering around here somewhere. And then if you go down here, a lot of people miss this little cave, but inside it there's actually the axe. So this axe, like the hammer I previously showed, doesn't bring too much to the table. I believe it has a buff weapon art as well. Unfortunately I couldn't use it properly because it requires a lot of strength and maybe even faith, I believe. So yeah. But it's still a really good weapon to use, and hey, if you want a little bit of variety, I'd definitely go for it. I don't see why. It's a little bit sluggish, but hey, it's still a good weapon. Okay, so next up is the Milnai Axe, I think. Sorry, I forget what they're called. But you're going to want to start at the Snowfield Bonfire and just run as far as you can until you fall off. Then you go to the ruins, which is that place where there's ruins and the knights are walking. You might want to try to walk to the right to avoid the wolves, but they will eventually stop aggroing on you after you get past this bit. And when you get to the ruins, you want to take a left, and again you might want to stay to the left because there's these knights that will attack you. I personally didn't really care, and because I was going to suicide anyway. But if you have a lot of the Vikings and wolves following you into the tower, then sometimes you won't even be able to make it up the stairs because it's very cramped in here, and there's already a guy blocking the stairs. You can actually roll past him, but I failed this time, so I had to kind of go down and bait him out. But yeah, essentially what you want to do is go on top of the tower, and this isn't really a shield guide, but there is a shield in this tower, and there's also the captain's ashes. If you want to pick them up, you might as well, since they're right there. But yeah, you just want to climb up the tower and follow where my character's going. So the axe, believe it or not, has a pretty much identical moveset to an axe, as far as I'm aware. I think it's a little bit more different, the movements, but they still do the same thing. The weapon art's really cool. It's basically like a stagger. You run at the enemy and you jump at them. It's really good. I actually died to this a few times in the arena, so it's obviously quite viable. And maybe if you mix it up with other weapons, it's even better. So next up is the bow. This weapon was actually quite hard to find because I was reading on the Wikipedia and it said apparently you get it as a drop, so it really messed up this video, I'm not gonna lie. Partly the reason why this video took as long as it did to make is because of this stupid bow, but eventually I found out that it's not a drop and you don't buy it with the captain's ashes, which is another thing that was suggested, sorry. You actually find it, and you have to obviously start at these snowfield bonfires. You can see, go past the ruins, and there's going to be a little hill up here, and I absolutely recommend you suicide on all of these. I actually managed to homeward bone out, but you might not get as lucky as me because there are a lot of strong enemies protecting this shit. But it's literally just right here. I'm not even sure how I missed this because I did walk past it during my playthrough. Now the bow obviously has a normal moveset of a bow, however the arrows, I believe, I'm not sure if it's the arrows or the actual bow, I'm pretty sure it's the bow. The special move is that you shoot an arrow and it explodes. So again, I'm not sure if that depends on the arrow or the bow, but this is obviously really good. There's a lot of potential with this, trust me. So this is it, guys. This is the end of the video, and I thought I'd leave the scythe and the rose last because there's a little bit of explaining to do. It's not too, you know, complicated, but basically the way you get these weapons is by killing the final boss. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, hence the reason why I decided to leave it last. Of course I know you can skip to here and whatnot, but just know that you get this by killing the final boss, and you actually have to pick, hence the reason why I can't really show you the rose. You have to pick between a weapon, and I picked the scythes because look at them, they're fucking amazing. However, the rose is just as far as I'm aware, like a catalyst or a talisman, and you can buff with it, which makes your miracles a lot stronger, and that's really it. So in comparison to the scythe, it's pretty shitty. I would definitely advise you getting a scythe, but of course it's completely up to you and your build. So anyway, guys, yeah, obviously, of course, you get the scythe and the rose by transpone, whatever the fuck it's called, to the guy at the filing shrine. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you actually did find it helpful, please leave a like, maybe share it so other people can see it, and comment. I usually don't ask for this shit in my videos because people who want to do that already do that. People who don't care, they don't care. But I'd really appreciate it. This video took me a long ass time. At the start of the video I said it took me 5 hours, but that was yesterday, and it's been a good 3 hours ever since. So I'm not going to give you a live story or anything, but if you want to check out my other videos, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy the DLC. Have some fun, and bye bye.